Welcome to another episode of It's All Love with me, Alfie Dundas. Today I am joined by Ali Woods.
Hello.
Ali, thank you very much for joining. Just before we start, we're going to look directly down the camera and pull some faces. If you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're on Spotify or you're just listening, just take a second to congratulate yourself for the decision you've made and prepare for the pod. So Ali, if you could just look directly down the lens and give me a big smile, and then a kind of big shock face, and then kind of like a laughing, like a ha 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 ha. Okay, great. That's all we need.
I did the same face for all three.
For the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Ali Woods, content creator, comedian,
Guilty.
Ron Weasley, Ed Sheeran, Prince Harry lookalike.
It's annoying when those are the jokes some people laugh at most in my show.
I saw your show last night. Those were some of the biggest laughs of the night.
That's what people come for. They come for the ginger content.
Well, I should say, for context, we are up in Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Fringe. Ali is doing a show, Basher, every day, which I assume will go on tour afterwards. If
Next year, I think 2026. That's next year, isn't it? So I think there'll be a tour there. If you want to come, anyone wants to come, you're welcome.
You're enjoying the show so far. How are you finding the Fringe? This is your third Fringe, fourth Fringe?
Well, I mean, I've done so many Fringes. This is my third show. I think I've done like 11 Fringes. I started coming up when I was at uni, doing like sketch to 5 people in a venue that doesn't exist anymore.
That was a good sign.
And we thought we were rock stars, man. We were like 19. We were like, this is the fucking... But I didn't write any of the sketches. I just auditioned to be in it. And I was like, this is sick. And then I started doing some improv. And then I lost my virginity, so I couldn't do improv anymore. And then I had to go into sort of stand-up. And yeah, I've been coming since 2013.
Wow.
2 years off for 2020 and 2021. But yeah, every year apart from that. Sometimes only for like 2 weeks, but yeah.
I wanted to ask about your sketches because you're well known for comedy and you get loads of people to come to the comedy shows. You're huge online. You're what we'd call a massive viral success.
It depends who you ask.
But you're a huge success.
Depends what room I'm in.
and like the sketches that you do online, that I'm sure people, if they're watching this, they'll recognize you from. Are those like comedy ideas that you are trying to find a way to put in the act so you can kind of make a joke out of it in the live performance and make a sketch out of it? Or do you treat the two things like completely different challenges?
I try and treat them different. I have weird, I don't know if you call them morals or hang-ups or whatever it is. I feel like you're not allowed to do them both. I get annoyed when people do it in both. I get annoyed when I see a comedian do a bit that I've seen they've done a sketch of. And I think... make something up. I just hate it, man.
You think once you've posted it online, like you've burnt it, you can't...
Not the material, not stand-up material. I think if it's stand-up, it's stand-up. You can post that as much as you want and do it, keep doing it, it's fine. But it annoys me when people use the same premise as a sketch and a joke. I hate that. I don't know why, but there's no reason why it should be like that, but I hate it.
I'm suddenly trying to remember if there's anything in your show yesterday that I'm like...
I'm neurotic about that sort of stuff. Yeah, I feel really guilty, and I've tried to do that like before. And you know what it is as well? They never turn into the best stand-up bits, the sketches.
Well, I was wondering whether... Because it's so hard to come up with like net new ideas.
I come up with so many ideas.
Okay,
but it's just hard. They're just not that good. I'm prolific with ideas. I love that part of it. I come up with loads of ideas all the time. But I could like churn out, and I do, 6 out of 10 stand-up and sketches forever. But what I find really hard is like working and crafting to make it like a 9 out of 10. And some people are so good at that. Like the Americans will spend like, 3 to 5 years working on a stand-up show that's just an hour, and they'll have worked on that bit for those years. I find that so hard. I love the turnover. I love being like, is this anything? I did it. Oh, okay, next one. But then that's not how you I make special stuff. That's my problem.
When you say you're having like hundreds of ideas a day, are you saying you walk down the street, you had like a lot of when I was trying to do research for this episode, like if you type Ali Woods into Google, you know the like what word comes next?
Right, what is it? Oh god.
Like one of the top ones is Ali Woods kiss.
Whoa!
And I was like, whoa!
Excuse me.
Scandal.
Yeah. Me and Sean Walsh. And I haven't been on Strictly yet.
I was very disappointed that it was just like you have a series of like guys trying to kiss you at the like most inappropriate time. Leaning in. Yeah. And I was just like, how do you like? Is it something that you see and you have an idea for, and you go, oh, that's funny, I'll come back and write it? Or do you sit down and go, I'm going to write 6 sketches?
No, I very rarely sit down. I'm now pushing myself to do that. So with stuff like that kissing one, this is just a benefit of me never living in the moment. Like I'm always just out of it, just thinking about what's happening instead of being there. And I can remember specifically what happened when I thought of that. It was the first girl I was like, had like a date with since my ex. And I don't know if you've had this. I mean, you're like 16 years old, but I
14,
14,
sure.
yeah, good. Oh, okay. Now I'm turned on. So, if you've had like a significant breakup and then you've been, kissing the same person for years, and then now I'm sitting with this girl on her sofa, and I'm like, well, this is where you kiss them, but I haven't kissed someone new for ages, and I just remember just going for it, and I literally. As soon as I left hers, I was like, that's an idea. And I was not in the moment at all.
She probably remembers that as a really special...
No, you know what she does? She actually, you know how bad it was? She messaged me when I posted it and said, oh my God, this was you. So I was bang on, to be fair. But yeah, that's the benefit of like never being in the moment, is that I'm always thinking of the awkwardness of the situation. But then no, I don't really sit down and write. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do more now. That's why I think... finally, like my stand-up, I think is starting to improve, and hopefully my sketches will improve as well, because I'm actually like focusing on daily just sitting down and writing and fleshing out ideas, rather than like just jotting something down on my phone and just going, okay, let's just film it. We've got to film something,
And do you do that? Is stand-up the same? Is stand-up like if you have, when you had that moment and you realized you just weren't present at all for the kiss, do you go, this is more of a sketch than it is a story? Because your stand-up is very storytelling. So
you reckon?
Well, in the show yesterday, I don't give any spoilers for the show, but you have a bit about, do you even enjoy having sex? Because you're so in your head, and you talk a lot about like, if it's not content, does it even matter? Like, it's quite hard to go to any experience. You talk about weddings and funerals and stuff, and not kind of in the back of your mind think, this is a good post.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering whether when you're in those moments and then you come back to it the next day, you've kind of made a note on your phone or you remember it, you go, how do you distinguish between this is a good idea for a potentially viral sketch, and then this is something I want to put in my act, Ali Woods the comedian? I
think sketches, I think in sketches easier. So when something happens, I can think I can act that out. Or when I meet a person, I go, you're this type of person, and I could act you out. I feel like that's a lot easier. Stand-up's so hard, man.
It's brutal.
People don't appreciate how hard stand-up is. And even if you make people laugh, you're not necessarily good at stand-up. That's what's so annoying about it. It's because, as you know, we doing it long enough, you see there's tricks, there's ways, there's methods to get people to laugh. And I remember when I used to go to stand-up as a punter, and if someone made us laugh, we were just like, great. And now as a stand-up, you'll like watch someone else doing well on stage and go, ugh. It's so hard. Whereas sketches,
more jokes, is it?
Yeah, more, yeah, it's boring. Oh yeah, you're right. Relationships are difficult. But sketches are so much easier. Like you can get viral, you can get big by doing sketches, and not really have to, I don't know, come up with that original stuff. Stand-up will always be judged on like, is this unique? Whereas sketches, and what annoys me about the way online is now, in that they don't have the principles we have in stand-up. They're just like, oh, it's like a trend. I'll just hop on the trend. It's like, no, it's not a trend. Someone's come up with that idea. Someone's worked hard to come up with that idea, and you're just stealing the idea. And okay, maybe you're changing some of the punchlines. But as we know in stand-ups, as stand-ups, the premise is the hardest bit. You can come up with tags and punchlines. That's easy. Yeah. You can work that out. You can ask your friend, whatever. But actually coming up with an original premise is difficult. So I think in sketches normally, so I have more probably sketch ideas generally. And then sometimes I'll have a thought where I'm like, okay, that I can see myself saying that. Like I can see that being funny on stage. And so I try and write the stand-up of that. Sometimes stand-up doesn't work. It gets relegated to a sketch. But rarely does a sketch ever become stand-up.
Do you ever have a bit where you go, that's good, I stand by it, they're just not enjoying it, I'm going to find a new format to deliver that idea?
What, in stand-up or sketch?
Or either. Do you ever have like a stand-up? Because sometimes I'll have a stand-up bit where I go, I know that I've not done this justice, but there's something there. And I'm wondering whether, because for people that just do stand-up, you have to try and rework it and find it. Whereas you can try and rework it or find it, or make a sketch and kind of reformat it. And I wonder if that kind of shows it in a bit of a different light.
Yeah, I remember listening to, was it Julio Torres talking on a pod, and he was like, sometimes it's just a tweet
Yeah.
Because that's what stand-ups do. They're like, if it was funny online or Twitter, you've got to make it into stand-up comedy. And sometimes it is just one format and that's all it is. And that people like it in that way. I think definitely there's stand-up bits that, I have an idea. And I think as a stand-up, if you find the idea really interesting, that's a great place to start. When you've been going a little longer, at first I think just write as many jokes as you can. But when you find a premise or something interesting, I think that's really good because that you'll want to make that work and that'll probably be more unique and original to you. But sometimes I just bench things. I'm just like, I'm not good enough to do this now. I'll just put it on the bench and come back to it years later. Like in my second show at the moment, I have a bit about having delayed puberty, which is like a sort of 8-minute bit or whatever. And that was something that I had in my like club set and as a sort of format, as some kind of one-liners when in like 2018, 2019, but it just wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. And so I completely benched it when I did my first show. And then in my second show, I thought, okay, I can return to this and maybe do it a bit more justice. And now it's annoying when I watch stuff back on my old stuff, when like you have to do a clip or whatever and you think, there's so much more I could have done with this. But no, it's gone.
I like that your delayed puberty bit took a while to develop.
Yeah. It took a while to get
you
ready.
And your own jokes are just a little bit late to the game. Everybody else is getting the jokes out straight
That's what my genre is, delayed comedy. That's the style of comedy I do.
It's interesting that you mentioned, like, I do notice as well, especially at Fringe, and maybe increasingly because comedians are becoming more, I mean, especially in America, there's like the idea that we don't just go to the comedians for comedy. It's also where everybody goes to get their news and their thoughts and their beliefs and everything. And then now you have to come to Edinburgh Fringe, you have to do a show that's funny and has some kind of message. Do you feel like a pressure when you come up here, or do you feel a pressure in stand-up in general to make sure you've got a thread, make sure you got an emotional moment, and is that something that you enjoy doing, or something you feel like you have to like fit in because it's what people want?
Yeah, I used to. I mean, this is getting very like, I guess, comedian driven here. Like, I don't know how much people would relate to it, but like, yeah, when you come to Fringe, everyone wants you to have a show that is an elevator pitch. So it's about this. It's based on this story. It's dealing with this. And a lot of comedy isn't that. A lot of people's favorite comedians aren't that. Like the biggest comedians in the world, you know, your Jimmy Carrs, your Ricky Gervaises, your Kevin Harts. They're not people's favorite comedians because they really talk about trauma or anything like that. It's actually quite the opposite, really. But here, because there's so many comedians and it's so industry focused, you're kind of not just playing to an audience, you're playing to this judging panel of critics who are going to say whether you're good or not, and then therefore decide your career theoretically. That you're like, okay, what's my niche? What's my thing? And that's why you get people coming up here being like doing a whole show about how they found out they were bisexual, and it's like it's okay, great, like, but you know, you've seen them be funny outside of that, but they feel like they've got to hook onto something, or someone coming up because they're talking about they've got a gluten intolerance or whatever, because I'm the like gluten intolerant comedian at gluten intolerant comedian, and it's like you're allowed to be yourself, you're allowed to just be Dave or Beth or whatever, you don't have to, but I think you have to learn that. I'm finally realizing that now, doing this show which has no real meaning, that I can just go on and do stand-up. But having said that, I do enjoy the moments of sentimentality when they're earned. And I would love to sort of explore that in other projects. Like I did a short film and I kind of want to write more. I wrote a sitcom script recently and I'd like to sort of pursue that side of things. Because I don't think I'm that pure a comedian. I'm not just I'm just all into jokes. I love, a lot of my favorite works are like sentimental. So I think maybe I ought to be doing a bit more of that.
Fair enough. And you're doing the sketch. I mean, a lot of your live show, what I was surprised by seeing the live show is how many act outs you do. You have so many characters. And I assume that's because like you've spent a couple of years now not only doing the stand-up and then also doing the sketches. And so now you have all of these like extra built-in sketch characters that you can kind of go into that either have accents or they have like personas, or it also breaks it up. Like there's a lot of comedy that is very monotone, just one person talking. Or as soon as you start bringing in other people, it's a lot more theatrical. It's a lot more. You were more performative than I thought you would be. I wouldn't have you seemed more like a theater kid on stage. Whereas sometimes in the sketches, you would just be like, oh, this is just like the everyman. Yeah.
It's funny. I've heard that before from people say like everyman in sketches, because it feels weird, because I feel like I'm being weird in them. But you know what it is, Alfie? Like I had to break out from that monotone stuff. I was so scared of other comedians judging me, especially like as a male comedian, that they're like, oh, you're not like a cool bloke, that you're like supposed to just stand up and kind of relax and be laying down what the hell's going on in society. And everyone's like, oh, this guy's a fucking genius, man. It's so funny. And then it was only when I started doing sketches in COVID, after I'd been doing stand-up for years, and the sketches some of them were doing well, and I was doing this character, I was like, I could just do that on stage. Yeah. I never thought that. And you're right in that, like, a lot of comedians, especially male comedians, don't lean into that when it's so funny. Like, people love it when you like dance or do something
Jim
stupid.
Carrey that was his whole career, and like nobody does in clubs. I see very, very few characters or big act outs where you commit to the persona. But the sketches you're doing are all these kind of people. I mean, you do a lot of sketches with Josh Berry.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you've got some crossover in fans.
Me and Josh? Yeah. The poshos unite so far.
Self-aware though, but we're self-aware, so that's why it's all right.
It's self-aware, so it's all right. It's funny, I got a review yesterday that's saying being self-aware doesn't make it all right. I've been getting interesting reviews where it's like, I got a 2-star review yesterday, which was actually completely fair enough. I didn't
know you were even getting reviews.
I didn't know I was getting reviewers in either. Wow. But like student reviews, not
right. So not real people.
Not real people.
And brains haven't fully formed yet.
They were very, very kind in the writing, and then they're like 2 stars. And one of the criticisms was everyone around me seemed to be enjoying it.
Oh, amazing.
And he acknowledged that. He was just like, I have a few criticisms, but no one else seemed to notice. They seemed to enjoy that stuff that he thought was hackier. And then I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I wonder, like, it does make you wonder who you should be performing for a little bit.
Well, it's like, you'll see Jack Whitehall sells out the O2. And then, next day we'll get 2 stars in pretty much every broadsheet.
I actually looked up, I was going through old Chortle reviews from old shows. And just being like, trying to find someone that got a 2-star review that then built a career. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Yeah. But I really don't mind about reviews. And I assume you might be the same, because when you start doing, if you're someone that puts a lot of stuff out on the internet, you're used to getting, it's a small percentage of the comments you get will be negative, or the DMs you get will be negative. But when you're getting big views like you are, that becomes quite a large absolute number. Like, how do you deal? Like, what do you remember? Like the first time you had a video that went viral, and then what was the kind of immediate backlash of like negative comments that is always going to be there?
Yeah, I remember the first TikTok I did, which again we were celebrating it. Me and my friends. It was like 11 seconds long, and it was very topical. It was like during COVID when you were allowed to be out till 10 p.m. and it was like when you get chucked out of the bar at 10 p.m. and then just suggesting stuff like going KFC or fingering behind the bins or whatever it was. And I remember us being excited, being like, "Oh my god, we got 100,000 views! That's incredible!" And at the time, that was like, I couldn't believe that. That's insane. But then I remember we started doing reels, and one of them, because I started reels early, and so this was when reels were like promoting it, and I remember getting a little notification like your reels being promoted, because they were like, if Instagram judges it to be good, they want it, because this was back in the days when Instagram was very elitist. It was like you had followers, they would see your stuff. It was hard to build a following, whereas now you can develop it quicker. But then also when you're getting more followers, they sometimes don't see your stuff anymore, because it's more like TikTok. So yeah, it got promoted, and then I just watched this video go up and up from sort of 10,000 views to 50 to 100 to 1 million to 5 million
on Instagram, and it was mad. And then and I couldn't believe it, and I was like, "This is sick." And so I got to keep doing reels, and then a couple others were promoted. And I remember I had one get promoted, which was like British people when someone's annoying them. And it was like someone like chewing really loudly. I was playing both characters, chewing really loudly, and I was like just not saying anything and going and just just bullshit. And I just remember so many Scots, Northerners coming in the comments being like, "You wouldn't do that in Glasgow, pal," just like, it's so annoying, because they're like, "That's just fucking posh English people." Yeah. Because I just said British, but then also it had loads of non-British people coming in being like, "Oh my god, this is so what the Brits are like," and then so, because that's all they see British people as, is like Hugh Grant. It's crazy on Instagram and TikTok. People don't realize that we're not putting it in front of them. Like when you put out a sketch, Instagram dictates who it gets shown to. And then people get so indignant when there's something on their feed that they see as like something they didn't want. And I just don't, I know that everybody talks about it, but I really don't understand the mentality of like taking time out of your day to comment on like a 30-year-old or like a 14-year-old's Instagram post and just being like, just move on.
Imagine if your friend said that's what they were doing. If you were like, what'd you get up to last night? I just stayed and I was just like flicking through and writing, kill yourself and get cancer on stuff. But these people out there, these people exist. That, you know.
But it's always, well, I was going to say it's always like a nameless, anonymous account. A lot of the time, it's like father of four, God loving. They're all God loving. And then
they love God, they hate you.
I had one that kept commenting boring on all my stand-up posts, and I kept pinning it because then it would get like more engaged. It was better for the engagement. But I clicked onto the profile, and it's like he's actually in Scotland. He's a priest.
Amazing.
And he does these like online sermons. They get very few views, but I didn't mention it.
Boring. You got comment boring.
And I was just like,
I prefer Satan.
I'm just like, I might just go to the church.
Yeah, well, people do. I mean, Bobby Mayer had a good video on that where he like went and found the guy who kept commenting. What was it, like chicken shit or something like that on every post he did, and he found him and just shouted at. He like literally was some guy who worked at Carphone Warehouse. That was it, just some bloke.
Do you respond to DMs and comments? Will you acknowledge
comments? When I first post the video for like that first half an hour, I'll reply to the first few that come in. You know, if one's like got a few likes already, comment, I'll pin it. But then after that, I kind of leave it. And to be fair, I've kind of always been like that. I used to reply to every single DM during COVID, but this was when I had fewer followers. And then at some point I felt bad, but I just had to not do that anymore.
Fair enough.
And most DMs are nice. Like I think I'm fortunate that a lot of the people who follow me seem generally quite nice. I don't get a lot of like pricks. Sometimes you'll have the odd DM that's a bit like, I don't know, accusing you of something, or, the ones who are like, right, finally unfollowed. You've done this, and it's like, I don't care. You can unfollow me. Like, no one
that is the final stand.
You know what I mean? Like someone who's got like 300 followers just messaging me. And also the funny thing about that is they're messaging to then never have contact with you again, like some sort of weird breakup.
But also, you're not doing in your sketches the most like kind of pushing the line of You're like, right, leaning in for a kiss in awkward situations, part 4, I could deal with. But part 5 has gone too far, Ali. I don't want this on my feed anymore. What's the one that went crazy? Is you had the one where it's like how straight men dress after 30.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just flannel shirts.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine people going, I could put up with all the other stuff.
Well, the thing that happens in that, I mean, I think also platform to platform, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the comments are different. So Instagram, the comments are, I think, the nicest across any sort of the major platforms. Twitter's a vile cesspit of, if something does well on Twitter, you're going to get hate. That's the only pile-on I've ever had was on Twitter.
Twitter's bad. I find TikTok really rancid as well.
TikTok can be horrid. And again, I think TikTok's really centered on community. So if your video gets pushed to the wrong community, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you just have nice comments on that as well. YouTube, again, can be like, there's a lot of edgelords on there. So that's like all the young guys who just want to post hater stuff.
Because they're just watching Kill Tony clips.
That's exactly it.
So it's Kill Tony clip, MAGA clip, and then your clip taking the piss out of like straight white men or whatever, and then they're like, oh.
Yeah, so I see the soy boy cucks are starting posting now.
Oh, I'm sorry for hating freedom. You know, it's
exactly. And it's always like an anonymous mask photo as their profile pic. And there, that one, the straight men one, like, that generally got good fun, but it was just, again, some people hating on me, how I looked.
Mm-hmm. And I apologize about that, but
but it gets the engagement. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, that does work in your favor. Like if you have something wrong with you, then people fucking love it.
What I like is when I like to pin negative comments, and then every now and again, if the video goes a little bit more viral, there'll be an argument in a comment thread about whether it's funny or not. But sometimes if the comment is about me and I pin it, the argument is then about me. So it'll be like, I get a lot of comments like, couldn't go to a barber, couldn't afford a haircut, pin that. Yeah. Then there's like, I actually, someone then will be like, I only liked the hair, didn't find the clip funny.
How do you feel about that?
And then, I like the engagement, but I don't like the kind of, sometimes I get backhanded compliments where they go, this is a dead bit, but the jacket's fresh.
Oh, right.
And it's kind of like,
Would you rather it was that way around or the other way? Would you rather they were like, this guy's hilarious, but he looks terrible?
Dead jacket.
Yeah.
I got, someone said, oh, you're hot for a comedian. And I just thought, for a comedian, huh?
Yeah. Take what you can, though.
So
if you're an actor or a singer, you'd be
a comedian.
The Ed Sheeran. You'd be like, well done you for making it.
That's fucking rude. I want to talk to you about, you talked about it a little bit in Basher, the show you're doing at the moment, and you talked about it in the last show. You talk about relationships quite a lot. This podcast is very loosely about love, in the sense that it's...
how come, mate? I don't see you as a lover. I mean, no offense.
Well, first of all, offense taken.
Yeah. I was given as well. I'm glad you found it.
This podcast has nothing really to do with love, except for the fact that the Valentine's show I did, the show on Valentine's Day.
That was great fun.
That you came and did. The crowdwork show was called It's All Love. And it's very loosely like my stand-up act, and I find especially when I do crowd work, is like I'm not good at roasting people, or at least not until we've actually got very close, and then it's roasting.
Right.
Like I prefer to genuinely, like I'm a very clean comic, and I prefer to genuinely talk to people rather than... I like to go watch people that are great at putting people down. I just think if someone that looks and sounds like me goes, you're a slag, it just doesn't land.
Yeah, but also as well, I think that not all crowd work needs to be this roasting. I mean, I think Matt Rife was successful because of that, because I think he appealed to women because he looked obviously good, but then also his stand-up was a lot more conversational. It was kind of nicer.
Yeah, it was funny.
At that time, all the clips that were going well for these American comics were guys being like, you fucking pedo.
Well, it's just a nice break. Like I like my show, like I like dark joke. If the joke's clever, I don't mind if it's dark. It's just that you talked about it yesterday. I don't want a show that's just complaining about everything. It's not about what I think stand-up should be. It's more just what I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that crowdwork show, and I want to do more of those. And I had all the branding set up for It's All Love. So it was just an easy thing.
Yeah.
And then I just loosely
That's good. It's good you've put the effort in, Alfie.
So I just thought, save myself some cash, and because I love you, and I want to talk to people I love about the things they love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean when I say you don't seem like a lover?
Well, no, because you've said it now.
Yeah, because you seem, you're a strategist.
It's all hate without any words. Live.
It's all engagement. It should be called.
You talk about love in your sets, and kind of have for a while, which a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't talk about their relationships. You're in a relationship now. Have you found that being happy and being in a relationship has destroyed your art?
You know what? It does affect your drive.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's great when you have a breakup or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to be in the biggest stand-up in the world. That's
Guardian are going to love this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to prove them all. And then when you've got like someone you're really happy to just be at home with in your pajamas watching films, you're like, fuck, this has really ruined my motivation. So that's annoying. But also I do think that I kind of get annoyed with comedy being this. I mean, you go to club gigs, and, you're just doing these shows where people are like, marriage is shit. And everyone's like, yeah. And having kids is shit. And everyone's like, yeah. And I get that people come to comedy for sort of a catharsis. Like, you're saying the unsaid things because you're supposed to love marriage and love kids. But I'm from a very honest family. That was never a thing. My mum has consistently said to me as an adult, I don't get why people still get married or have kids. That's my own mother, who is still married. And
sorry, your mum who's married to your dad.
Yeah, says that to both of us.
Yeah. She's also still not sure if she wants kids.
She's not generally. She's like, I don't know.
30,
I remember
30 years later.
I don't want to say that. Generally, that is true.
On the fence.
Yeah. She loves the grandkid. The new grandkid she loves. I think that's what you get to. But
it's not your kid.
No.
Okay, I was going to say, I missed a phase in that conversation.
I didn't want to talk about that in my show. Yeah. I did 45 minutes on that.
You're staying in a hotel on your own. I was like, Ali, you've got a kid.
Well, that's another thing people do in Edinburgh. But that's a different matter.
That's a whole different situation.
Yeah. Because I think I'm generally quite an optimistic guy. I mean, I've had a nice life, so I think that's added to it, that I feel like life's kind of going to work out and it's great. But I get annoyed when comedy, especially in the UK, has to be this kind of miserable affair where you talk about how shit life is, because I think life's the best gift that you can have. So, but then it does, you got to kind of win people over with that by being funny. You can't.
It's very hard to go on stage and tell people how great things are.
And especially your life.
I've found people don't enjoy
Really?
Just hearing.
But they don't feel it's true comedy.
Yeah.
They feel the inauthenticity.
No, because I go on stage and I go, everything's great. Yeah. It's better than you could possibly imagine. Yeah. And they go,
and they don't like that.
It's weird that, especially in Scotland, they don't like. And I go, I live in London, which is better than here, and they don't like it.
Weird, they don't like that.
They don't like that at all.
Yeah.
But no, but
you're doing that in the safest place to do that in Scotland, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, when you're doing the Dundee circuit.
Yeah. Well, my ancestral home. No, they don't like that at all. I don't think it's just in comedy. I think it's in like all things. Like I find it really funny, and I'd like to preface this with saying I love this genre of music, but the songs like the Olivia Rodrigo, Lizzie, what's she called, McAlpine, Billie Eilish to a certain extent, my favorite singers. But every song is about how the boy they liked someone else.
Oh, it's mad.
And it's hard to believe when they are multi-millionaire, super attractive 20-year-old girls who are definitely not having guys turn them away because they like the skinny blonde. The song, I don't know how many skinny blonde girls there are in
the damn skinny blonde girl. It's the same one every time.
It's always, she's got the waist that I'm insecure about or whatever. And I'm like, you're headlining Glastonbury.
Yeah.
If you're getting turned down by some deadbeat trucker, we're screwed.
But yeah, men don't like the successful women.
Men don't like successful women.
That's it. It's good. But yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But it always goes back to that Bo Burnham song, Repeat Stuff. It's just like encapsulated all of that. It's the marketing of it.
I like your eyes with the, what's it, greenish, bluish, brownish color.
Yeah.
So good.
And it's like how you have an arm on either side.
Yeah.
It's like, but we're losing women who don't have arms, but they can use iTunes, so fuck them.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great. I do agree with that, and that annoys me. That comedy's got to be this perpetual like person versus life and the struggle with it. And to an extent, I do still obviously have that, and that's where a lot of jokes will derive from. But it annoys me when, a comedian is doing financially well, is getting a lot of sexual attention, still will talk about how, it's just not going well. I'm having this trouble, and isn't using the self scanner at the checkout, annoying and stuff.
You've seen my act.
Okay, yeah.
No, I agree.
It's great. I love when you do it.
And I'm on every day at 3:15.
Yeah. But you're not. Life's not going that well yet. But
True.
And it's like, no, you're doing great, man. Yeah. That annoys me, because I just hate inauthenticity.
And it's related to that. Or like, I know that you're happy. Like you might not have your Netflix special this year, but you're doing well enough, and you like this level. You're not miserable. The comedians that are genuinely miserable and then go on stage miserable, I love that. Authentic, 100%.
You ever go up to a comedian who's been like so depressed on stage and like, oh man, that was really great, and they're like, yeah, cheers. And you're like, oh, wow, it's not an act.
It was not an act. If anything, that was you dialed up.
Yeah. That was an extreme version of you. Good for you, man. I do get that. But yeah, that annoys me. That annoys me a lot. And I mean, you get it a lot when you start out. It's like the guys in comedy who will go on and talk about how awkward they are with girls. And then they're just like sharking around after the gig, looking for women from the gig to sleep with. It's just so annoying.
I think the easy jokes at the beginning are like the obvious ones, and they just don't suit you at all. But I think people are moving on from that. Right, this next section of the show is called Rich People Problems, where we look at the news, which just seems to be a lot of rich people in problems. This week, everybody's favorite rich actress, Sydney Sweeney. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I know her. I know her well.
You know her well. I've just realised that completely unintentionally, Sydney Sweeney has come up in all 3 episodes.
Yeah, sure.
Of this podcast.
What news is this you're looking at? Sydney Sweeney.
And that's because every week when I look for news, I just go to her Instagram page and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But this week, Sydney Sweeney is genuinely in the news because she has fronted an American Eagle campaign for denim, where she goes, I have great jeans. Now, I'm going to explain, there's a bit of a comedic device used there. Jeans means both denim jeans and her sort of DNA. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. And
someone got paid a lot of money for that.
Someone got paid a lot of money, and he's very clever.
And then signed off as well.
And that was almost like the Telegraph joke of the Fringe. He's got good genes. Sydney Sweeney sort of is there in her blue jeans, and she says like, hair color is passed down generation, eye color is passed down generation, your genes are passed down different generations. The left think it's promoting white supremacy. The right think the left hate hot people,
which is true.
And I would love to get Ali Woods' thoughts.
Finally, well, everyone's been asking
on the scandal, because a lot of people, and Sydney has been asking.
I know. She keeps messaging me.
She follows the pod.
Yeah, she's a big fan. It's all love.
I was wondering, have you seen that? Did you see that on the news?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get it at first because I just saw a video and then people saying it was racist. I'm like, she's just wearing jeans. I didn't see the billboard. And then, so I was a bit confused.
What did the billboard
I was like, is
say?
it racist to wear jeans?
The billboard said Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
I have great jeans or something like that. I don't know if it was Sydney Sweeney, but maybe, but yeah.
White in brackets. Oh, maybe that is more problematic.
Yeah. And then underneath he said, but not you people. I'm like, what does that mean?
We have great genes. Would have been way worse.
Yeah, they put up in a Gales. So they're like, you know who's getting this.
I would love it if all those gentrification brands started using it. Like Gales just start putting Sydney Sweeney coffee adverts. Just
Sweeney will do any. She's like, you know, those people who like black celebrities who only promote black businesses. She's like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you guys are doing it. I only want the whitest.
Yeah. It's a whole different type of nepotism. She's only supporting mum and pop shops in Hackney that are about to get taken over.
I've seen that advert and I've seen the backlash. And I at first, I really didn't. But the point is that she's hot, isn't it? Not that she's white. That's what I...
Look, she's not my type.
That's what I thought. You don't like...
People have said that. I personally...
She's not vulnerable enough for you, is she?
have no issues.
Self-esteem needs to be a lot lower.
I told you that in private. The first
Where's your type?
My type is not Sydney Sweeney
what
at
is
all. Well, you'll meet my girlfriend next week, but my type is brunette.
Ah.
So, and this is a big thing, not racist.
You're missing out, dude.
I can take it or leave that
They be the wildest ones, let me tell you that.
But really not Sydney Sweeney. I first discovered Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria, and it was funny because I love Euphoria. I think it's a fantastic show, and I think the right wing that are defending the advert and defending Sydney Sweeney would not like Sydney Sweeney as much if they'd seen the show that made her famous.
Yeah, so what is she in that? She
comes from a broken family with affairs and a lot of addiction, so maybe the right wing would enjoy that actually. She dates a black football player.
Well, not anymore.
And I think the right, if they went and her best friend was Zendaya, I think if they go into watching her back catalogue, they're suddenly going to be like, fuck.
That's, I think, what a lot of the right-wing Republicans do. They go, I like this Sydney Sweeney. I'm going to go back and watch Euphoria.
That's a sketch. That's a character.
I'm going to sit down and watch this high school show.
Well, she's basically like, she's built a whole brand off being like a Midwestern, like during COVID, she was repairing cars.
Oh, really?
Like she was posting reels of her like fixing a truck in a garage. And it's like the right wing are the men in wherever, Mississippi or whatever, are going to love this shit. And
she's coming out in a film soon about like a country star or something like that as well. It's all
country western. Yeah. She's the exact kind of guy. If she wasn't an actress, she was a musician, it would be none of the boys like me because I'm too curvy or whatever, and you'd have to listen to the song and you go, that's just not happening.
My friend was telling me a story actually the other day about another someone I used to know, like part of that friendship group, and she was talking about how like on dating apps, people, because she's Iraqi and like people can fetishize the way she looks, the guys want a certain they want that person to be a certain way. And then this other friend was like, I completely get it. I mean, you know, when like people see me on dating apps, they're like, okay, blonde girl with big boobs, and they like want me to be a certain way. Like it's really hard for me.
And you were just like,
I was like, yeah,
mopping up tears.
Sound very difficult. Getting the tiny violin out, tiny violin for your huge boobs. That's what
the Fox News have just had a bunch of people on the news basically going, the left clearly hate hot people. They're angry at that, which isn't true at all. Trump
Who's the hottest left-wing person? Who's the anti-Sydney Sweeney?
No, but in America, like all of those political commentators, like Hassan Piker, you know him?
No.
He's like a streamer, left-wing streamer.
I've never read the news.
All of it's TikTok, so I thought you might have seen it. It's just clips, but it's like, and like Luigi Mangione, the guy that shot. All of the left-wing idols, we don't care that they commit crimes because they're kind of hot in the mugshots.
Yeah. Yeah, they could kill someone in broad daylight.
That kid killed a father of 3 and the left love him. Why? Because he's shredded. It's like...
Well, but also the communist connotations with the sort of...
I didn't read about that paragraph.
He's hot. Finishing off.
No one knows what his morals were. He was hot and they were like, he should be released. There should be more of him.
Yeah. The left love a martyr, I'd say. We love a martyr. We love like the idea of someone being locked up for doing what's right. That's a really hot image.
Yeah, that's true.
The Republicans, I think they like the person breaking free from being locked up. Like, yeah, fuck you, I was right the whole time.
I think Republicans love getting away with it. I think
the rage baiting stuff.
The stuff is like, ha ha ha, like, yeah, he was on the Epstein list, but la la la, it doesn't exist. Yeah. And I'm like, that's such a weird flex.
Yeah. Who's on the Epstein list and got away with it? That's going to be someone's Edinburgh show next year.
In brackets, huge if true.
True, yeah.
£3 at the yurt.
You on the list?
No, the list doesn't exist. I'm not on the list. I do want the list to come out because I've been getting a lot of comments.
You get a lot of comments.
People assume there might have been an old trip to the island once.
Family holiday.
We rented it. He wasn't
The great
there.
thing was, I was a kid and there were loads of 15-year-old girls hanging out with.
The thing is, I was more likely to be mistaken for one of the 15-year-old girls than one of the...
You'd get a nice sort of wealthy CEO coming up to you.
I was going to call them one of the Islanders, but that's not what they are. That's a very different show. But that would be one hell of a crossover.
Yeah, Love Island on the Epstein's Island.
Epstein Love Island.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. This year you could write a bit on that. I don't know if anyone has done a bit, but...
I wanted to write a bit, and I mean, we're now going inside baseball a bit, but a month ago when the US and the Iran thing was going on, I know it still is going on, but when it was really at the threat and all the headlines were like World War III, I realized that Love Island was on, which means if the UK got nuked, the only surviving Brits would be the 16 Islanders.
Oh yeah.
And it would be like an Apocalypse Now situation where they then represent all corners of the UK publicly going forward.
Yeah.
They are our spokespeople.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't make it as a bit, but it's fine.
Well, it crushed on here.
It crushed here. Yeah. I just didn't, I couldn't find a way to make it funny.
I think that's good. That's a good premise.
But I thought it was an angle.
Yeah,
but anyway, to finish off the Sydney Sweeney thing, the last thing I saw about it, and Trump has got a lot going on because
Trump has got a lot going on. You're quite right, actually.
And people don't say this enough.
He's got a lot on his plate.
He's a he's a big man.
I met someone last night who'd met Trump, and I was like, "What's he like?" And they said he's fatter in person. That was their main thing, and it was like, which is weird because he looks fat.
Yeah. And that's the only issue I have with him.
That's the only... if he was shredded like Luigi Mangione.
Also, Donald, if you're listening, get on Ozempic.
Yeah.
If you were hot...
But would he be... Is that part of the American dream that you're kind of fat and in charge? They kind of like that, no? If he was skinny, they'd say he was frail. He looks like one of those beta cooks.
He does look... He would look like a beta cuck, but he would... What would a
The sincerity with which he said that. He would look like a beta cuck. That's like his PR team.
This isn't one of those brain rot podcasts. This is a serious, hard-hitting podcast. Yeah. No, I'm trying to think what he would look like. He'd look a little bit like you in 30 years.
Yeah, that's the plan. I just need to get the fake tan on.
On Ozempic.
But that's what I thought of that as a bit like it's great seeing the world run by such old men because I think it really gives us a lot of time. Like we're 40 years away from peaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sitting here, like you wait till you get into your 70s before you run the world. Like Putin and Trump. And I don't know how old Xi Jinping is. What's he in his 60s?
I haven't asked in months, but he's...
yeah, I mean, he looks great. He looks great. Yeah. No one's talking about Xi Jinping.
He doesn't age.
Those Asians, they don't age.
He doesn't age. He doesn't age. I do feel like you either have to become famous at 18 on TikTok and like be a global superstar or 65.
I think those people burn out, man.
There's almost no one getting successful in their 30s to 60s. You're either a child star a Justin Bieber.
Comedy. I think comedy's good for that. Comedy's like the only part of entertainment where you can peak in your 40s.
Okay.
Like you go on the, but it's true. I mean, look at someone like a Bill Burr. Like when he was 30, it's like, who cared?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But I think for our generation, it might be like, we're going to be 65, getting wheeled out onto the stage. Mike in the mic.
Yeah. Popcorn lung, let me eat ya.
One of those headsets so that your hands are.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Trump's been going through a hard time with not just this, but also the South Park episode.
Oh yeah,
which I don't know if you saw.
I haven't seen. I saw clips from it, but I haven't seen the full episode.
Paramount, who owns South Park, did a deal with the writers of South Park. They get about $2 billion deal. It's a big deal. 5 years of streaming South Park, 5 new seasons. The first episode is a complete takedown of Paramount. And because Paramount settled a lawsuit with Trump, and South Park have this famous like recurring thing where Saddam Hussein is in bed with the devil and they're like smoking after intercourse and they're like having a genuine chat, and they've replaced it with Trump, but not a cartoon version of Trump, just like a real Trump face. Yeah. And then the whole second half of the episode is they have a character which is like Trump's penis, which they're not allowed to put body parts on screen, but because they put eyes on it, it's a character. It's not a phallus. Anyway, and Trump has just, he says he wants to sue them and it's not funny and all these things.
Which is funny because in the episode he's suing everyone. He's suing
them, which is the whole point. Yeah. And also by tweeting it to your 88 million followers, you've just got a hell of a lot more views on it.
Yeah.
But in the midst of the Sydney Sweeney scandal, Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., posted a picture of Trump's face on Sydney Sweeney's blue jeans ad.
Oh my God.
Which is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
God, that's a hard wank.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Got it done because I'm a patriot.
It just says Donald Trump has good genes.
Oh my God. It's so bonkers, isn't it? So firstly on that South Park thing, I'd say, isn't that just like the best bit about being a comedian, man? Could you imagine just making that and just thinking you're so free and thinking you're actually kind of taking, like speaking truth to power, punching up, like that is the purity of that. Yeah. Of like, we're just going to take the piss and we really make cock jokes at the expense of arguably the most powerful man in the world.
And get paid $2 billion to do it.
Oh, it's amazing. I think the longer it goes on, the more respect I have for South Park. I remember when I was younger, it was like this kind of cool, cheeky thing that was like, oh, if you like when you're like 10, being like, oh, have you seen South Park, man? It's sick. Like, and then I kind of was like, oh, it's a bit, I don't know, stupid or whatever. And then now, as I see it, the satire and the parody, it will keep punching up. Whatever's going on in society doesn't give a fuck. I think that's amazing what it does. And then the second part is what you're saying about Donald Trump Jr. It is insane what that family and the official White House Twitter and stuff posts now, isn't it?
Did you see the Jet 2 holiday?
Jet 2 holiday. Insane.
If you haven't seen this, the Trump official White House Twitter or whatever page posted a video of them deporting people with the nothing beats
nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And these people literally like being like getting pushed onto a plane and stuff like that.
You know the worst thing about that is we just sang it and smiled.
No, but it's insane.
Like that song, Jess Glynn has us in such a chokehold that even reenacting how bad that video we put, baby, how much?
Oh man!
I watched the video. I was disgusted, but I did not.
You will do, but it's hard. It's laughable because it's like, what am I watching? Like the world's gone insane, satire. Right? Yeah. And it's not. And then it's only when you see that it's from the official, you think it's some like shit posting.
You see the blue tick.
Yeah, and then you see it's actually the official one. But who's running that account? What 19-year-old have they got?
Whoever it is,
who's doing that and Duolingo and
just so plugged into culture.
Oh, mate,
can you imagine if Duolingo just like saying, "Oh, ¿cómo estás?" and then if they reply in Spanish, just rounding them up?
Yeah, they should do a partnership. Collaboration.
Ryanair as well, you know the little eyes on the plane, they can just go,
mate, it's all coming together. It's all coming Spanish speaking. Need to learn Spanish fast because you're getting deported.
Hablas español? Sí. Okay, you're coming with me now.
God, it's all the same guy. It's all the same.
It's just the owl going round.
With the gun. Just
Duolingo turns around, just says ice on the back.
But that would be the sort of tweet that the president would love, mate.
The thing with the South Park is like the satire. I mean, I read there's an interesting book called Comedy Book by like a columnist in New York, and he was like, the reason comedians have kind of can't do as many Trump jokes as they used to be able to is because he's so beyond the satire. Like South Park, when I was growing up, and I'm sure when you were growing up, was like edgy, almost like
That's a nice compliment.
different eras. I watched it in color, you watched it in black and white.
I had to hit the TV to tune in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The family computer.
Yeah, they said the N word back then.
iPod Nano. We said the N word in private.
Piece of machine. Yeah,
it's nice. It's a good bit of tech.
Yeah.
When I was watching South Park as a kid, it was like everybody was aware. If anything, it was like this is the libertarian. They say whatever they want. Very un-PG. They use a lot of words like that. A lot of like liberal people are uncomfortable with. And now they've not moved where they are and become left wing and taking the piss out of Trump. It's just everybody's moved so far right that they now doing a bit on like Trump in bed with the devil look like progressives when South Park is just objectively not a like left wing show.
It's not set out to be like that. No,
the writers aren't left wing. They've always been Republicans. They're always.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah. They're like libertarian. They're like big on free speech, big on my rights. They're probably I don't know, but they're like I think they're pretty big on like guns and whatever.
Really?
They're not hateful people, but they want to take the piss out of everyone. They're not snowflakes, is my point. And then now we've moved so far this way that we're like, oh, South Park's like a leftist woke
to the man.
show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
South Park's gone woke.
Yeah, South Park's gone woke. South woke. I think when it comes to South Park, I just think it's like they are sort of taking the piss out of how much the right wing have co-opted left wing stuff. So all the right wing people and Republicans think that they're still the small guy punching up.
Yeah.
Like that's their whole thing is that the man is like the left wing media or like wokeism or something like that. They don't realize like they're fucking in charge.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me about this. It's like you're literally running the world.
Yeah.
Every single leader of every like major country is right wing. Like even like we've got Keir Starmer supposed to be a left wing candidate. He's definitely not. He's like centrist at most, centre right maybe. Yeah. And it's just insane. But still they're fed this narrative of like you're being pushed down, you're by the man and stuff like that, and they fucking believe it. And that used to be the left wing.
The last thing I'll say on the Sydney Sweeney thing is Trump was interviewed. Like he's by the way, every interview with Trump, he's getting on a plane. Like there's always like
he was in the Jet 2 one as well, wasn't he?
There's always a plane like in his hair because the hair is like just 2 meters to the left of his body. And they were like, "Oh, have you seen the Sydney Sweeney ad?" And I think he's made comments about Sydney Sweeney that are like a bit negative in the past. Anyway, the reporter was like, "Did you know Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican?" Now I don't know if that's true, but Donald Trump then obviously goes, "I think she's a nice lady. She's whatever." And he goes, "Oh, she's a Republican. You know, people say there's not very many of us, but there's more than you'd think." And I'm just like, what do you won the election. Stop. Like, you can't look down the barrel of the camera and be like, well, there's actually a handful of us Republicans knocking about, but we're all so shamed into talking about it.
Yeah.
You guys talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And you've voted. Like, we know there's more of you, or at least there were last time.
Yeah. It's clever. It's really annoying. I mean, we had that with like in this country with Boris Johnson, that he was seen as this sort of representing the everyman. I mean, the only prime minister I've ever known to be known by his first name, just be known as Boris. It's like an incredibly clever piece of PR to have. And it's like, this is an Etonian, super rich.
No problem with that, Ali, on this part.
I mean, if I ever met one of these guys,
Uncle Boris.
I'd shoot them in the face. Yeah. But somehow they've managed to represent the working man.
In my mind, you're on a sort of shoot with Boris.
Just turn the gun on him. He'd just get up, wouldn't he?
Careful, don't be too mean to Papa.
Yeah,
He's a gentle soul.
He was honestly one of like the nicest guys growing up.
He's a lovely bloke. No, he's a lovely bloke.
Always up for throwing the pill around, you know.
Well, it's fun. When my parents come up next weekend to Fringe, you'll meet him, so that'll be nice.
I bet I will.
Right, I'm running behind, so I've got one more little thing for you, Ali, and then I'll let you go. This is a segment that I've done on Instagram. I haven't done on the pod yet, but it's very popular. You're a Man United fan?
Yeah,
I seem to remember.
You can tell by my accent.
That's good. Yeah. That's nice. You go to the away games, you say?
No, I got a season ticket, me and my dad. So yeah, we go to home and away. Yeah, a lot, as much of the away ones we can. But yeah,
you go home. You got a home season ticket?
Yeah. For what's the year now? Yeah, for the last 12 seasons we've had that.
Does your dad live in Manchester?
No. He's from Manchester. So, but we're in North London.
And so you just train up,
dude.
Cool. Well, I'm going to test your football knowledge a bit. This is a popular segment on Instagram. This is footballers that don't exist but should. Basically, Ali Woods, you just got to tell me whether this is a real footballer
Okay.
or whether I've made it up.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1, George Moloko. Okay. George Moloko was a Luxembourg striker, parents originally from Ghana. He was one of the biggest talents of Europe during the Under-19 World Cup in 2005 before he signed for FC Porto, scoring 7 goals and getting 4 assists in his first 14 games. It all went a bit downhill. He had some injuries. He also has rumoured bad behaviour and even had a fight with Kitman at PSV where he did a season-long loan. It doesn't say why he had the fight with the kit man, but Porto brought him back at the end of the year. He was 24, and then they sold him to a club in Poland, and then he retired out in Sweden. At 32, he's now retired with 80 goals, 22 assists in over 200 games. In 2005, now as an ex-footballer, he plays a small role as a minor politician in his small hometown in Luxembourg.
I'm going to go with you have made all of that up.
And why would you possibly think that?
Because I think it's funny that you've written all that and none of it's true.
Yeah, none of that's true. That's
I knew it. I loved it. That was so good. Doesn't actually say why he
did that in my research. The reason I actually...
But a Luxembourg player, man, there wouldn't be a Luxembourg player that played for Porto.
Oh, that's where you draw the line, is it?
I think as soon as you said Luxembourg player, I would know of that.
Of who it is?
Yeah, because there's some countries that are just so small that you would know
all their players.
If they ever had a player that scored 80 goals, and you asked me 80 goals in 200 games as well, that's an incredible return rate. That's more than 1 in 3. You'd know him.
In my defense, this is someone that commented this player.
And I made it up.
And has commented it on every single post I've done for the last, I would say, 3 months.
Wow.
Whether it's related to football or not.
Oh my God. So you've got quite an autistic fan base then.
Fan base implies multiple. I've got fan pillar.
You have fans. Man.
I have one fan who has posted that and you're finally getting, but it was bad. And it's harder than it looks. Yeah. I'd like to point that out to my friends.
But good for you. But you lost me. Luxembourg, mate. Come on. There's like 3 people there.
First word, Luxembourg. I thought
Luxembourg, why wouldn't he play for Ghana? If he was playing for Porto, he would have played for Ghana. He wouldn't pick Luxembourg to play for.
I think you're getting the right answers with all the wrong workings.
What made you think that I should have got that?
Fight with the kit man at Porto.
No, that's also when I knew when you said, "Oh, I don't know how that happened."
I don't know why that happened. Should I tell you why I said I don't know what it happens? Because the guy that wrote it said he had a fight because the kit man gave him the wrong shoes, and I thought that was less believable than saying nothing. Okay,
I like that this guy's going to pivot now to a different player.
Yeah, if you comment one, eventually I will say it in the show. Players that don't exist. Ali Woods, does this player exist? James Wilson.
For Man United, the youth player.
Yeah, he exists. How the hell do you know him?
Oh man, I'm accusing other people of autism. Look at that.
That's so annoying.
I watched him play at Old Trafford. He scored a goal against. No, did he score a goal against Hull? He played up front against Hull in the last season of David Moyes' reign. Giggs was in charge at that point. James Wilson, and then I think doesn't play League One now or something.
I know none of those things. He finished off his career with some. I mean, I don't care. You got it right.
You said the name.
So annoying.
That's so bad.
Because what I do is I go to transfer market and like find kind of a niche player from your club, and I was like, oh, it's a little striker. He scored 2 goals on his debut, and then basically,
so I would have seen that. Yeah, I think that was might have been against Hull. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the 2013-14 season. So it was like a really depressing season. Giggs was in charge, but then it was like, oh, maybe we've got this young striker, but then he never amounted to anything.
That's really annoying.
Do you want it? Have you got any more?
No. Wait, hold on.
Did you want to? Sorry, I cut you off. Did you want to say James Wilson's bio and stuff?
No. First of all, James Wilson, you had a dead career. You're a dead baller. You're a bad striker, and now I dislike you. I was rooting for you, and now I hope you get released. I think he just played in League 2 last season. I now don't know if he's retired or if he's
well, he'd be. I mean, if we're talking that season, then at the moment he'd kind of be about 30, 31. So I guess if it's not worked out at this point, then maybe.
I've got one more.
Okay.
And you got to guess if this is real or fake. This is a football player that doesn't exist but should. Tell me whether he's real or not. This is Robin Friday.
Okay.
Do you know who that is off the bat, Ali? Encyclopedic football knowledge?
I wouldn't possibly know.
Okay. Robin Friday was a legend for Cardiff and Reading. He was nicknamed the lower league George Best. Okay, he won Reading's Player of the Year award in both of his full seasons there, as well as being the leading goal scorer. However, his habit of unsettling opponents through physical intimidation led to a heavily tarnished disciplinary record, and his personal life took a toll. A lot of heavy drinking, smoking, womanizing, drug abuse. He served a prison sentence in the 1980s for impersonating a police officer and confiscating other people's drugs and then taking them before he passed away at 38 from a suspected overdose.
Jesus. So we're talking in the 70s and 80s he was playing?
We're talking about the 80s in Cardiff and Reading, who were in, I think, League Two at the time.
And where's he from?
He's, I don't know. He's English, but I don't know where in England.
Okay, he's English, right. Yeah. I mean, this is too long ago that I'm not going to know it. I mean, how am I going to... It would be lame if I knew there was a League Two player in the 80s. So I'm not going to know that. So I'm going to go just again that you've made all that up just because that's quite funny.
No, that was real. That's 100% real.
Okay.
They've actually written a book about him.
Oh, really?
He's very famous. I found them on Wikipedia. And
Friday, I'm in jail.
Friday, I'm in jail. Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
TGI Robin Friday. Yeah. Dressing up as a police officer and confiscating other people's drugs, I think, is the best crime I've ever heard of.
That's amazing.
And getting away with it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I've got. Ali, thank you very much. Like you said, the podcast has nothing to do with love, although I do like to ask people at the end of the show, who or what do you love most in the world right now?
I got to go with my girlfriend. I got to do it as contractually obliged.
You've got to?
Got to, yeah.
That's what you want on records?
Yes, okay. I will. I'm saying it. This is for you, baby.
Okay. He has to say that.
No, I do love her. She's great. And we're very much in love. We're in a very good sweet spot at the moment. So downhill from here.
Good. Well, long may it last. That is the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening.
The way you say long may it last, sorry to interrupt, in your accent sounds like you're talking about the Empire.
No, it does sound like I'm going to end it. It's really ominous. Like, okay, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, like some sort of Shakespearean play, or like Game of Thrones. And long may it last. And then secretly you go poison the wine.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Shout out Ali's girlfriend. If you want to see Ali at the Edinburgh Fringe, he's here for the whole month. His show is called Basher. It's on at Underbelly.
Yeah.
8:20 p.m.
8:20 p.m. I don't know when this is coming out, if you're not at the Fringe or whatever. By the time this might come out, my new special might be out. It's coming out this month in August. Check it out on YouTube. It's just called At The Moment, and it's my new comedy special. All of your social medias are Ali Woods Gigs. That's it. Go follow Ali, see him on tour, like some of the sketches. If you enjoyed the episode, send it to a friend. I'm at the Edinburgh Fringe until the end of the month at 3:15 at the Mash House. And that is all. Ali, thank you very much. Thanks so much for having me on, Alfie. It's been great.